years ago, visited Prague. What he found there were thousands of refugees.
Hi everybody, it's Chris Kandaya here, and I'm at the London Film Festival. This is the red carpet gala premiere of the film One Life, featuring the incredible Sir Anthony Hopkins. This film tells the story of Sir Nicholas Winton, who organised one of the first trains to evacuate children from Czechoslovakia to the UK. It's something that's known as is here. Dear friends, John Fieldsend is coming. He was on that train with his brother. He remembers saying goodbye to his parents through the window of the train.
I remember my mother taking a photograph of my brother and I with our father, and then they took us down to the local little town railway station. They put us on a train. As the train was about to leave, my mother took her wristwatch off and passed it through the window to me and simply said, "This is for you to remember us by."
We are working to evacuate these children by train to safety in Britain.
Why are you doing this, Mr. Winton?
Because I may be able to do something about it. I must.
I really want you to see this film. It's incredibly well made. I met so many people that knew Sir Nicholas personally, and they were just astounded by the likeness that Anthony Hopkins brought to that role. When I watched it last night, I was surrounded by the ancestors of those who were on the Kindertransport.
Now, an extraordinary story about a young man who many years ago visited Prague. What he found there were thousands of refugees.
Hi everybody, it's Chris Kandaya here, and I'm at the London Film Festival. This is the red carpet gala premiere of the film One Life, featuring the incredible Sir Anthony Hopkins. We'd love to see your pieces of art, or maybe you're better with words. We'd love to see your short poems help people connect with the experiences of refugee children around the world. Refugee and displaced children face very different circumstances. Some have been living in refugee camps since they were born. Others have been forced to flee their homes as teenagers.
I came to the UK as a refugee 2 years ago. I am grateful for the support I've had from my new school friends, but I really miss my friends and family in Ukraine.
I hope that one day it will be safe for me to go home. I can't even imagine what refugee camp in Kenya since the day I was born.
My favorite part of day is drinking tea at bedtime. It reminds me of my home in Afghanistan.
When I'm older, I want to help build a world where children like me don't have to flee their homes to find somewhere safe to live.
We're delighted to be working with the British Library and our panel of celebrity and expert judges to find the best piece of artwork in the United Kingdom. And that will be proudly displayed in the British Library during National Refugee Week. You can help change the minds and hearts of our nation and maybe even the rest of the world. So please enter it. We're looking forward to thousands of entries from across the United Kingdom. So good luck, and I look forward to seeing what you produce. Young people are doing brilliant things everywhere these days. They're making history on the football pitch, at the Olympics, and on the tennis courts. They're starring in blockbuster movies and storming the music industry. They're speaking up about the environment, about period poverty, about the impact of vaping and the injustices facing refugees, about the climate emergency, about the right to education, and so much more. Young people are doing brilliant things all over social media, using their influence fearlessly and outrageously. I love this revival of youth power. But sadly, their voice is not being heard in politics, and I believe that needs to change. It's time to reverse that cycle and allow young people to be heard. Unfortunately, politicians aren't getting younger, they're getting older. This means that policies are moving further and further away from the interests of young people. We need to change that and make sure that young people are involved in our political system, and then our politicians have to sit up and pay attention and listen to what young people want. With a surge in youth voting, you can shift the political attention onto the issues you care about. Maybe you'll use your vote as an act of protest. Maybe you'll use your vote as an act of celebration. Maybe you'll use your vote because you're upset that your grandparents have to wait so long to get a medical appointment. Maybe you'll use your vote because you're concerned that your school's concrete is crumbling around you. Maybe you'll use your vote because you're worried you won't be able to afford to rent or buy a house. Maybe you'll use your vote to speak up about issues of the environment or how refugees are treated. Whatever you're going to use your vote for, I am certain that you're going to do it to make the world a kinder and fairer place. And in order to get started on that, you need to register. And so on the 16th of April, me and a few friends are putting on a special live event at sixth form colleges around the UK. We're going to talk you through the process of registering to be a voter. You need to know your national insurance number before you come, but then if you're allowed to bring your phone into school on the 16th of April, you'll be able to register to vote. We think if thousands of young people do that on the same day, that will send ripples throughout our political system. Our politicians will have to sit up and take notice. They'll have to stop talking at you and start listening to you. So we'd love for you to join us on the 16th of April. Let's get as many of you registering to vote as we can, and let's change the way the politics works in our country so it'll be a fairer and juster place for all of us. See you soon.
Hello everybody, it's Krish Kandai here, and I'm so pleased you're joining us for our GiveAnX live event. Today is your chance to register to vote. This is an important part of being an adult member of society, and we're so excited we can help you come through this process. I'm in England. I'm the director of a national charity. I'm very passionate about us offering welcome and hospitality to refugees. If you are a refugee watching, a special welcome to you. If you, your family, or your school, or your neighborhood has welcomed refugees, well done. Thanks for all that you're doing. I'm excited to be here, but I'm really excited that I've got a friend up in Scotland that's joining me. Welcome to Laura. Hey, Laura, nice to see you.
Hello, so nice to be here. Hi everyone, my name is Laura Young, and as Krish said, I'm based up in Scotland. I'm a university student, I'm a climate scientist and campaigner, so passionate about big issues like climate change, which are, of course, so relevant when we're talking about politics and getting registered to vote.
Fantastic. Well, Laurie, you've heard what I'm excited about. I know what you're excited about. Let's find out what the young people that are watching care about when it comes to our nation. So we'd love you to take part in a little bit of experimental technology. You're going to need your phone out, and if you put it on to a camera mode and then point it at that QR code, it should take you to an interactive tool. It's completely anonymous, so you can say whatever you like in this environment. And if you're in, give us a little heart shape to let us know that you've made it into this place. And then we're going to ask you some questions. Some are easier than others. You just tell us what you think. And as soon as we've got enough of you in the room, we'll give you a chance to ask the first question.
Lots of hearts coming through there. Hello,
Oh,
everyone.
I love it. I love the fact you get hearts and thumbs up. That's a very positive start to a meeting, isn't it? So really good. I hope you're having a great afternoon, actually. This is a lovely day where I am. And okay, we're ready, I think, for the first question. And it's an easy one. Just tell us roughly where in the country you are. We won't be able to find you. This is anonymous, but we'd love to know whereabouts in the UK you currently are. Look at that. Hey, we got some
I
Scottish
think the
people.
first one was in Scotland. Yay,
Come
well
on.
done for being first.
Excellent.
Right
Oh,
in
look,
the
we've got
middle.
someone in Wales. That's great. Very warm welcome to you. I don't know how to say welcome in
Northern
Wales.
Ireland as well. There we go.
Oh, fantastic. I love my Ulster fry in Northern Ireland, some Southern Ireland. Okay. A lot of people coming from the centre there. That looks like the Midlands. Really
Yeah,
good.
down as
Welcome
well
to
in
you.
Cornwall.
Yeah. Okay. A few of you are on oil rigs or yachts circling.
Must be
England.
nice.
Either you're not very accurate or having a bit of fun. But anyway, you are very, very, very welcome wherever you are in the country. Thanks for joining us. Now, the next question, it's a bit controversial. We want you to tell us how you feel about the way the country is currently being run. This is a little bit of a view of our current government. What's the emoji that best describes how you are feeling? What are you seeing there, Laura?
Well, quite similar to the other ones, I have to say the poo emoji is very, very popular, followed by feeling a bit queasy, which maybe they go together. And quite a lot of people saying shrugging, not sure, but we do have a few love hearts. I think it's at 3, 4, 5 people saying
Yeah,
that
some
they
people
love
giving
it. So a mix.
the shades a bit of love there. But
Yeah.
you're right. Wow, over 200 people are giving the poo emoji the its vote. Okay, well, let's try another one, a little bit more complicated. We'd love you to look at this list and put it in the order that matters to you. Now, these aren't all the issues that are out there in the world, but these are the ones that you maybe care about more than others. And I'm passionate about all of them. There's one in particular that I'm very interested in. But what do you think? We'd love to hear from you. Laura, you are someone who's very passionate about the environment. Where did that passion come from for you?
Yeah, I mean, being in Scotland, you're surrounded by beautiful natural places. So I've always had an appreciation. And also at school, I loved geography. I loved learning about the world, but you also learn about the bad stuff. So you learn we should probably do something about it. And also, as a Christian, I believe that God created this world and gave us responsibility to look after it and people. And we know that lots of environmental issues in particular impact people and people in poverty. So I'm passionate through what I learned at school, what was surrounding me and my faith. And I'm sure everyone who's passionate about things has, similar stories. And it's great to see that protecting the environment is up in the top 3, alongside things like stopping the wars and housing,
Yes.
really important issues.
Really good. And it's very interesting about affordable housing being the number 1. That came up before. We've done this a couple of times today. Sadly, I'm feeling a little bit like being a Liverpool supporter at the moment. We're not winning. And supporting refugees has come lowest on your list. That's okay. I'm going to try and persuade you otherwise as we go through our event today. But thank you for voting. Okay, next question. Do you think your vote really can make a difference? Let's hear what you have to say on that.
Well, it's looking quite 50-50. We're not too much between them.
Yeah, I'm so nerdy. I'm really enjoying this data.
The data.
It's great. Very interesting. Thank you for voting. And you're voting very quickly. This is excellent. And a lot of you on today, actually. Nearly 400. Yeah, 400
Yeah,
plus.
over 500 now.
Oh,
Wow.
my goodness. Well done. Keep
Pouring
voting. It's
in.
great.
I'm quick
Great
with the
to-
math, Krish. I can do that.
I think you just got better eyesight than me, Laura. That's what's going on.
There you go.
Okay,
Nearly 600.
so
Wow.
sadly, the majority of you think, no, your vote doesn't matter, we want to tell you otherwise. This election is likely, this national general election is likely to be pretty close in some areas. And so your vote really could make a difference about who is in power and who isn't. So that's why we want you to register in a minute. Thank you for voting. Okay, next one. Do you feel that politicians take your concerns as young people seriously?
Wow.
Love to hear what you have to say on that one.
This is going very different to the last ones. Only
Whoa.
low double figures on the
Over
yes here.
90,
Wow.
95% are saying no, aren't they? And I find that really sad.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a cycle, actually. If you don't think your government is listening to you, the chances are you won't bother turning up to vote. And if you don't bother turning up to vote, then guess what? The government doesn't think it's worth listening to you. And the cycle will move politics further and further away from you and the issues you care about. That's one of the reasons we're here today. We want to inspire and encourage you to play your part in our democracy and make the government listen to you, or whoever wants your vote. Great. Wow, that was a very, very clear result from you. Thank you for sharing. Okay, last question. Have you decided how you will vote in a general election? Do you know already which party you want to vote for, or are you undecided? Let's have a look. I'd say that's nearly 2/3 haven't decided yet. That's interesting. Hot news. I think Sharon is here. Can we put her on screen?
Oh, we're getting a sneak preview at what's to come next. But yeah, it was very interesting.
Sharon, nice to see you. I know you've had travel problems today. We might as well just go with this. Earlier, we had a visit from Sharon Gafka. She can't join us now, sadly. She had to be called in for a media interview. But you'll get a chance to hear a little bit of Sharon's story. She was on Love Island and now is very passionate about getting young people to vote. So you'll be able to hear from her in a minute. Great. Thank you for voting. We now want to do, I guess, the most important thing that we need to do today, which is to help you actually vote. And what you need to do before you can vote is you need to register. So we're going to put on the screen another QR code. You're really good at QR codes. Loads of you got involved in the last bit of voting. And all you need to do to start the process, just like you did before, go and join the QR code. And then it will take you to the government website. And it will say register to vote, like it does on my phone here. And if you scroll down to the bottom, you just press the button start now. Now, look, there's no pressure. If you don't want to register to vote, you don't have to, but we want to encourage you to do it. The first question, very similar to the one we asked you, is where do you live? Are you in England? Are you in Scotland? Are you in Wales? Are you in Northern Ireland? Or are you a British citizen living in another country? So you can select one of those. If you are a member of the Commonwealth that's living here, or if you're a European citizen that's living in the UK, guess what? You actually can vote in our local elections, but only if you've got settled status. Anyway, so there you go. Hopefully you've been able to answer that one. Where do you live in the UK? Then the next question it's going to ask you is, what is your nationality? Are you British? Are you Irish? Are you a citizen of another country? Me, I'm British. I'm going to click that and then move on. And then it's going to ask you, what is your date of birth? I could tell you my date of birth and you'd then be able to send me a birthday card, but you put in what your date of birth is and take it forward from there. Just keep pushing forward when you've done that. I've done it. There you go. What is your name? Put your full name, your middle name, and your last name down. And if you have got a passport, put the name that's written on your passport. So I'm Krish in everyday life, but I'm Krishna on my passport. So I'm going to write Krishna and then Rohan and then Kandaya. You now know my middle name, which is pretty cool. I think my parents were into Lord of the Rings. Have you ever changed your name? Have you had a different name that you were given earlier in your life? If the answer is no, mine is no. You press continue. And then what is your national insurance number? That's the hardest question. And you might not know that. Okay, it's possible you don't have the national insurance number handy. If you don't, that's okay. You can press the button that says, I cannot provide my national insurance number. And then what you do when it comes to, you can, when your voter registration thing comes through, you take it with your national insurance number down to your town hall and they can sort you out. But it's a lot easier if you can put it in now. Great. So once you've done that, it will ask you your address. So you stick that in, and then can I have the next slide, please, Mark? And then do you live at another address? That's possible that you might be somewhere where you're studying and then somewhere where you live. That's totally fine. You put both of those addresses down. Have you ever moved from another house in the last 12 months? It'll ask you that. Do you want to apply for a postal vote? That's up to you. Many people think it's quite a good idea to apply for a postal vote because you kind of don't know what's going to happen. Imagine that you, I don't know, had to travel to visit a relative when it was polling day, then you could still use your postal vote. But also, I didn't know this, I found this out today, that if you do want to vote in person, go down to a polling booth, you just take the postal vote that you've already got with you and you can still vote. So that's good. Are you the only person aged over 16 living at your address? I'm guessing that's probably no for you, but it might be. And if you've got any other questions, then you can put it in there. Now, the other thing that you need to know, this is new for this general election, is that you're going to need some kind of voter ID. And you don't need it for now for registering, but when it actually comes to voting, that's what you need. And you might have a driving license, you might have a passport, but if you don't have either of those things, the best thing to do is to Google voter ID Electoral Commission, and it will help you find a way to register for another form of ID that will allow you to vote. Sadly, with the new rules, that's what you need in order to vote. So you need to register like you're going to do now, but you also need some kind of ID so that you can turn up and prove that you are who you say you are on the day. Now, if you did just do that, firstly, congratulations. That is a major step. You are now a member, or in the process of becoming a member of the electorate. You can help shape the way that our country is governed. You will determine how a lot of the money that you earn will be spent, because I don't know if you know this, but when you pay tax, that can be anywhere from like 20, 30, 40, for some people, 50% of everything they earn is decided by someone else. So you want to really decide how your taxes are spent, I would say, therefore register to vote. Brilliant. Okay, thank you. If you did that, that's brilliant. We now have a really fun person that I'd love you to meet. Let's meet our friend Sophia. Sophia, lovely to see you. We're old friends, but could you share a little bit of your story, how you come to be in the UK today?
Hello, my name is Sophia. I'm from Ukraine, and I came to UK because of war in my country. And now we are fighting to protect our democracy. And I would really like to know, why do you think many people in the UK do not vote?
That is such a good question. I mean, I've been working with refugees from Ukraine since the war began, and people are telling me just the most terrible stories of what their families have had to fleeing in the middle of the night, people's homes being bombed, people they know who've been killed. And this is all because Ukraine wants to stand up for democracy, the right to be able to choose their own government. And so it is a really powerful question. Laura, what do you think? Why do so many people in the UK, and sadly, it's often young people are the least likely people to vote. Why don't people want to vote when it's such a precious thing?
Yeah, I think we take democracy for granted. It's not something that's at risk here in the UK. So maybe we forget how important it is, and it's important to register, to vote, to have our say, because it is something really special. But I also think it can be a bit confusing. You know, we don't necessarily learn about it in school. It's not something that you wake up and think on your 17th birthday, oh, I get to register to vote today. You know, it can be something that's, so there are lots of barriers, but I'm glad that today, we are raising awareness for people being able to register and to highlight how important it is that, if you care about potholes to climate change, to refugees, that means you should vote. You should vote in all types of the local council elections, the Westminster elections. So it's great that we're being able to raise that awareness, but I think we're just, we take it for granted a bit.
That's right. It's a really good question. I went to see the new movie Civil War on Friday with my older kids. It's a really scary film. It imagines a civil war breaking out in modern day America. And it was terrifying because it feels like it could possibly happen. But again, it made me think, look, our democracy is so precious and so valuable. As Laura's saying, we shouldn't take it for granted. What's your next question, Sophia?
My next question is, what should someone do if they are unsure who to vote for?
Well, it turns out, according to our little Mentimeter survey, a lot of people watching right now haven't decided who to vote for. And some people just go with the flow, don't they? They say, well, my family's always voted that way, I should vote this way, or all my friends are voting this way, I should vote this way. I think this is a really personal decision. You're only allowed to go into a voting booth on your own. You can't bring your family and friends. You've got to be on your own because this is up to you. And therefore, I think we all have some responsibility to do a little bit of homework and find out what the different parties stand for. And you can sometimes find these online tests where you can, take it's like a dating profile. What are the things that matter to you? And then it tells you which party connects with those issues. But the other way of doing it is just doing the homework yourself. So go and find out who your local MP is and who the other candidates that are standing. And, have a little Google, see what they actually say, not what other people say about them. In many towns, there will be hustings where the local MPs will come and they'll have to answer your questions, and your voice matters as much as anybody else's because you have the right to vote. So I would say go and do your homework, go and find out who's standing for what. You'll probably not find a party that agrees with everything that you agree with. So you have to do a bit of maths and go, okay, 70% of what I believe in is supported by this party, 30% by that one. Okay, I'm going to go with the 70%. That's what I'm going to do. And if you find a party doesn't care about anything that you care about, well, that's when you need to do what Laura does so well, and you need to start campaigning and say, look, we can't ignore these issues. They really matter. Do you have another question, Sophia? I think Laura's ready for it.
Yeah, I have a question. Will our votes matter in the elections?
Yes, they will. And actually, there are millions of people who are not signed up to vote, and particularly young people is a huge chunk of that. And some of the areas, some of the constituencies only come down to a few thousand or even a few hundred votes. So if you have a big group of young people suddenly registering to vote, politicians are going to start paying attention. But also, if we go out and we actually use our votes, we could be the way that sways it to one particular party or one particular cause. So it absolutely matters. And I think if anyone has not gone to vote and the decision went the wrong way, I think you always feel a bit disappointed in yourself for not going out and using your vote. So absolutely it matters. And even just today, even just registering, it matters. So if you didn't catch the QR code earlier, still Google, register to vote UK. You've still got time because it matters so much.
So good. Brilliant questions. Thank you so much. Laskava prosimo, as they say in Ukraine. Welcome. You're helping us in the UK value our democracy. So we're really glad that you're here. And I hope, having met you and seen how fantastic you are, more people will care about refugees than on the last survey that we did. Brilliant.
Thank you very much.
Now, we did promise you a little bit of time with Sharon Gafka. Sharon was part of the Love Island show. I must admit, I've never watched Love Island. Are you a fan? Is that part of your life, Laura?
It can be pretty good sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. And Sharon was great.
Well, Sharon came to visit us earlier on the GivenX event. She's got a media interview now, so can't be with us. But here's a little bit of what she said for you to have a look at. News. I think Sharon is here. Can we put her on screen? Welcome, Sharon. Well, I'm really hoping this is going to work. Hey, Sharon.
Hey.
Nice to see you. I know you've had travel problems today. But Sharon, some of our viewers might recognize you from Love Island. What is someone from Love Island doing talking about voting and democracy? Why does this matter to you?
Yeah, it's probably quite a weird transition for majority of people, but people that don't know, actually, pre-Love Island, I spent 6.5 years working in central government. My love for politics actually began probably when I was about 13. I come from a mixed heritage background of first and second generation immigrants, so I've seen how politics really shaped their lives and their country and what was missing for young people. And I wanted to be a part of something that could really drive change. And coming out of Love Island, you're thrown things left, right and centre, but none of them really aligned with me as a person and didn't really have any longevity for the future of Britain and its young people. So I kind of didn't steer too far away from politics, and now I've ended up on your screens.
Amazing. We're so grateful you made it, and I know it's been a tough day for you already. And we love your passion for fighting for the rights of women and girls, and we're really inspired by that. So thank you. Brilliant. Well, thank you, Sharon. And Laura, thank you so much for bringing your passion for the environment to inspire young people to make a difference. Thank you, Sophia. You did a fantastic job. And thank you to all your teachers and all of you that voted on our various different issues. If you did register to vote, congratulations. You've done something really important. You've taken your first step to influence the way that our country is run. I'm someone that wants to see our country to become even more compassionate, kind, and a more just place. You can be part of that revolution. And thank you so much for being part of it. Happy voting and happy National Voter Registration Day. God bless.